Get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans by fans, with your hosts, Jessy Martin.
The Cowboys are finished, you understand me?
John Taman.
Pull down my trousers and do your job.
Scott Hartley.
Well, that was dreadful.
And occasionally, Keith Gray.
So many social engagements, so little time.
And now, your host, John Taman.
Hey, it's me, and it's Eagles lost Monday. We're down a man tonight. Scott got a hold of some bad haggis, and apparently it's stormy over in the UK. So I'm joined up atop of me here on the left is my friend Jessy. I know you're on the left, but I'm putting up my left hand, and it's all opposite. My friend Jessy over here. How are you, man? What are you doing today?
Yeah, the beginning of the our introductions, you should put, instead of the Cowboys are finished, I should be saying the Commanders are finished.
We're finished? All right, Keith. Up here on my over here. My buddy Keith, there you are. How are you, my friend? How are you?
Doing well, sir. Thank you for having me on my show.
Hey, man. It's the least I could do. Anyway, all right. So we lost to the Eagles yesterday. I guess we want to jump right into that. We got anything we want to start off with? Anything that's going on in life or anything like that? I know, Keith, when it's just the three of us, you usually like to have something that you like to say. And I know yesterday you gave away your ticket.
Yeah, I did. I gave it away, and I had no interest in going to watch the team lose. I'm sure we'll get into it. I wasn't shocked that we lost, but I'm shocked that we actually played with the Eagles. So, it is what it is.
All right. Jessy, what are your first impressions on the game? Offense, defense, special teams, I don't care. Well, just overall impressions on the game. I know we watched it twice.
Where was this offense at all year long? Is my biggest thought impression, especially the play calling. Good gracious, where has that been?
Yeah.
Where the fuck has it been? Where's it been?
Well, are you happy to see it? I mean,
yeah, I am. I'm afraid maybe it's a little bit too late. I think, I still people are clamoring for EB to take over Ron Rivera's job. I just think it's an awful mistake because he can't be consistent at running the offense. What makes you think he's going to be able to take over a whole entire team? I mean, I think we just need to wait till season's in and clean house and start from scratch.
All right. So, okay. We'll as Keith would like to say, and what I think I hear on every single podcast, we will dive into that later. I don't want to dive into it. We'll wade into it later. All right. So,
stupid.
What do you want? We'll dive into that.
We'll wade into that later.
Right. We will wade into it later. All right. So, Keith, why don't you wade right on in? You pick which way we're going to go, offense or defense. What's your first thinking?
Let's go offense.
All right. We'll go with it. First impressions on the offense. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty excited to see that this new constructed offensive line played pretty well, allowed Sam to have some time to throw the football in the pocket. I think EB's play calling had improved. I think they came with the game plan where they were going to go quick passes. Quick passes actually, I believe, opened the door for Sam to be able to hang out in the pocket as well, to make some pretty nice throws downfield. I saw a nice mix of runs in there as well. I was really happy to see what I saw on offense, and it pissed me off even more at the fact that we played as well as we did against the Eagles, considering what we did, the week prior. So,
right.
Happy to see it, and I hope that we can continue this, moving forward for this season, so that way we can see a lot more of what Sam Howell can do. Because, like I said, my mindset now, I've dropped out of even thinking that we have any type of opportunity to even be competitive enough to even maybe have a playoff spot. So now I'm just using my eyes to view what we have in the quarterback, and hopefully by the end of season we don't have to go into the offseason going for that quarterback search, even though I know that we potentially may have, new coaching staff, and everyone's assumptions at this point is, well, they might want their own quarterback as well. It's possible, and that's all remaining to be seen and talked about towards the end. But what I seen yesterday was what I was hoping for consistently all season, from this offense. So
the last coach who got to pick his own quarterback was Norv Turner. Every coach we've had since then has been asked, can you work with this guy? Now, for my money, I think Sam Howell showed yesterday that he can be that guy. And I think that, Jesse, you hit it early, and then Keith, you hit it next. Or, God damn it. The fact is, what they did early in the first couple of drives by moving the ball around outside with these little bubble screens and these little quick screens that they ran, they even ran a little end around to Diami Brown. It opened up the middle of that field and didn't allow anybody to come smashing down through the center like that we've been seeing, for the last 5 weeks. And then you saw Sam with time. And with time, dude, he hit 10 different receivers yesterday. In the first half, every single skill position player touched the football, or at least got a chance to touch it. He overthrew Byron Pringle. But, man, they spread that ball around yesterday. And I'm wondering, all right, so, Jesse, I'm going to bring this back around to what you said. Is this indicating that, okay, EB obviously has learned something, or is this that maybe he felt now is the time to uncork it? Because I've noticed a hell of a lot more motion. I noticed Sam yesterday calling out blitzes, that nice freaking slant that he hit with the tight end. Fuck, I'm blanking on his name, Thomas. Nice, 14-yard pass that he hit on the slant with Thomas. He freaking called that alert, and then hit the freaking quick read. So is this that he's learning? I mean, is he learning, or is this something that you think was he just kind of, when you say, where's this been? He should have been doing this before. Did he
okay, is this, are you asking if Sam's learning, or maybe is Eric?
He sounds like Adam Rank, doesn't he? Oh, clear your throat.
Yeah.
Kind of like Adam Rank.
Yeah, you sound a little funny.
Is that?
Yeah, not necessarily Sam, but EB. All right, because the play calling was decidedly different.
It was totally different. It actually looked like a West Coast offense. It looked like what we were told it was going to look like out in preseason and all through the off season. I don't know where it was. He thinks painfully obvious. I mean, listen, I can't say for sure if Sam's the guy. I don't know. I still think we need to see a little bit more. Obviously, we're going to. But EB preached early in his first ever press conference that he was going to call plays around the players that we had. And what we've seen in the beginning of the season, he hasn't done that. He was looking more like Scott Turner, like, all right, you're going to call these. This is the plays that we're going to call. Mm-hmm. You'll see spurts of him like in second halves when they have to make adjustments. And Sam gets confidence. Okay. He doesn't have confidence when he's got to have 5 and 7 step drops and he's getting blasted. Right. Give him some confidence first, loosen up that defense first, call an actual West Coast offense first before you start going, guns a-blazing. And you saw that yesterday. You saw the screens. You saw the quick game. You saw him moving the pocket, getting the ball out of his hands fast. I put that more on Eric Bieniemy than I do on Sam Howell.
Well, yeah. Now,
putting the ball where only his receivers can get them.
Most of the time he had the one mistake. He had the one mistake.
Yeah. And look, I'm willing to cut that some slack. I'm willing to cut that some slack because
one mistake?
I look at it as a learning experience. Now, next year, if he's starting, I'm not necessarily going to be so nice about that. But he was placing the ball in the hands of only where his receivers can get them. I mean, and they were beautiful passes. So I don't understand what people in the Twitter X-verse are seeing when they say that this guy isn't the guy, when I'm clearly seeing this guy check the boxes of what a starting QB should look like in the NFL. That's just me.
There's no way you can definitely say he's not the guy.
No.
I don't think there's a way right now you can definitely say, hey, yeah, he's our 10-year franchise quarterback. I don't think we're there yet. But there is zero reason. If you say there's no way Sam Howell's the guy, I should punch you in the fucking face.
Well, I mean,
somebody who's shown that he can play in this league. Now, where that goes, I don't know.
You cannot sit here with a straight face if you know anything about football whatsoever and say there's no way Sam's the guy. No way. You can't do that. I would like to welcome
people that just predict failure. All right, please welcome.
I would like to welcome our buddy, another friend from across the pond, Darren. I appreciate you coming on, and with your first comment, I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Okay, there you go, Darren.
But thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. And please continue to join us in the chat. Listen,
Darren says EB has done enough to get Ron gone, and now he can call his own game. And he punctuated with the LOL.
Listen, if EB has 1,000% total control over this offense. There's zero doubt about it.
These times I see him arguing with fucking Brissett when it's 3rd and 6. Get away from me. Get away from me.
Yeah, Ron hasn't. He didn't even do that with Scott Turner until he had to basically tell Scott Turner, hey, run the ball a little bit more. He doesn't do that with Eric Bieniemy. To me, Eric Bieniemy, he's been most inconsistent out of everybody.
Well, that comes back to the question I was asking. Do you think that that's because Bieniemy knew what he was doing and wasn't rightly sure?
We talked about this earlier this season too. Yeah.
Or do you think that he's now confident enough that Sam can start handling these things? Because, like I said, the motion there's a lot of it now. In the first 2 games of the season, man, hardly anybody was going to motion. He'd send Brian Robinson out and then he'd bring him right back, and then that was about it. Now you got guys switching back and forth. He's doing little fucking fakes on the inside and these quick reverses. So I'm wondering if it's that EB just wasn't comfortable enough to call that kind of game. And again, it took him so fucking long.
But during the offseason, I mean, when they were installing this offense, when all the media were allowed to be out there, I remember both John Keim and even JP Finley and likes of Ben Standing, they all said, there's motions on every single play.
Sure.
And then we don't see it. We did not see it at the beginning. So
Sam's
why? Like what? I don't get it. You know, I'm sure it's a growing. And we talked about this with Deuce when Deuce was on our show not too long ago. You know, Eric Bieniemy's a new coach too. You know, new at you know, having the reins. I just don't see how anybody can say he should take over right now. I just don't. No. I don't see it whatsoever because he hasn't shown the consistency of running an offense yet, let alone a whole entire team.
All right. So, Keith, you started us on the offense. Start us on the defense.
Yeah, defense does. Yeah, defense does what I thought they were going to do. They were going to give up points to A.J. Brown. I said this, you know, in the podcast before. The guy's been doing that to everyone in the league, and I knew it was going to happen to us.
Again.
You know, yeah, defensive line not creating the pressure that I would like to see. I believe I haven't really read reports on Jalen Hurts, but I don't think he was 100%.
No, he was gimpy as shit.
He was definitely gimpy, and that to me was slightly frustrating. I saw a lot of almost pressures by Chase Young. I'm not being negative here. I just wanted to see more from the defense. I knew the only chance that we had to win this game as we're watching it was our defense, you know, had to hold, and they did. They got, you know, some fumble recoveries on the
at the goal line.
Yeah, at the goal line, because if they didn't get that game could have been actually out of control. So I just wanted to see more from our backfield guys, and I didn't see it.
You know,
they gave me exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Wasn't that Fidarian Mathis that recovered the fumble?
Yeah, you know, I'm
one of them. I don't. That one goal line fumble. I don't even know
how they. Yeah, I don't know.
Tush push fumble.
I think Fuller came out. See that? And know it was on the ground. Like when they showed the close up,
noses are down there on the ground.
I guess. I mean,
they are.
Well, it did look like everybody was shifting one way, and the ball happened to go the other, and it just landed.
Hurts yelled, "Oh shit!" That probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Look, as I said yesterday, I didn't have a terrible problem with how the game on the defensive side of the ball was called. It was. I thought it was a decent game plan. There's plays like everybody said. AJ Brown was going to get his. And then there was that one. The plays that really did it was that one play where it was Danny Johnson and Cam Curl. One of those two blew a coverage.
It was totally Danny Johnson.
Yeah. And I don't know if Danny thought that Curl was back there or Curl just was supposed to be back there. Wasn't. I just don't know. But
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
One of them might.
He let it go. Yeah, he let it. He screwed it. He had a couple of nice plays early on though, and
that was his guy. He dropped back and then stopped for some reason. I have to assume that he thought that there was someone else back there. But then when you go back and look at the play, what was he doing?
I know people were. Yeah, I know people were complaining about not blitzing more, and I understand
early on.
Yeah, they did early on. But I understand, the threat of the threat of Jalen Hurts under pressure. He's the best quarterback in the league under pressure.
Yeah.
So I understand them not like going out all the time. I get it. This is probably, even though they put up 37 points. This was probably the game that I had the least problems with as far as the defensive play calling and the whole entire. Even though they gave up a lot of points, they just got beat. I mean, AJ Brown just
AJ Brown.
Well, the thing about AJ Brown is that you're right. They did call a pretty good game defensively. The Eagles are going to get theirs. They're a Super Bowl team, but just like in the rest of the football game, coaching fucked up at critical junctures. And how the hell how Jack Del Rio decided, Danny Johnson, he's playing okay, I suppose. But tell you what, kid. Why don't you take your 165-pound ass out there and get roasted again by the guy that just roasted you 3 weeks ago?
We talked about that on the bunker, and the only thought that came to my mind is, and I was like, well, Fuller's getting his ass beat by A.J. Brown. St. Juice is getting his ass beat by A.J. Brown. Danny Johnson's getting his ass beat by A.J. Brown. Hey, let's make it a four in a row. Let's get everybody their ass beat by.
Look, when AJ Brown ran that comeback route, I tell you what, fucking Forbes went 5 yards the other way before he turned around and come back. And I thought it's just because of the wind going past AJ Brown and hitting Forbes and making him go. Danny Johnson, I think he's earned it. And I mean, you want to play Forbes, but dude, you can't just keep doing that to him because it made me go get this for Danny Johnson. And this is just part of it.
Your friends and your Johnson, your girl and your Johnson.
And I'll have to show you what that is some other time. This is a 1970s Johnson Outboard Motors ad.
Of course it's 1970s. Why wouldn't it be?
You caught a prize. You're making your Johnson. Party nights, summer whites. Your friends and your Johnson. Rooster tails, water trails. Your kids and your Johnson. Saturday nights, distant lights. Your girl and your Johnson.
You and your Johnson, a way of life for over 50 years.
For me, I'd say that's true.
In the 70s, the Johnson wasn't a innuendo as it is today.
Your girl and your Johnson.
I love that. Anyway, so yeah, Danny
Johnson wouldn't be in the starting lineup on any other team. And
he wouldn't.
And that's what kind of where I was getting at when I started off with the defensive talk is I got exactly what I expected from them. But we have guys on that defense that would not be starting on another team, yet we're forced to have to watch this unfold. Yeah. And then you see the result where, in my personal opinion, if you're letting your assignment go because you think someone's behind you, then you need to do what your assignment is. And he just stood there. He just stood there. He just stood there. So it was like I immediately pointed the finger at him on that blown coverage because I don't understand what it was that he was trying to do. You know,
I don't know either. I have no.
I watched it. I went over and I'm like, what is he?
I mean, maybe he just had a fucking brain fart in the moment, and I don't know. But that was a pivotal play that I think really turned it around, because they were playing pretty well with through the first half. Yeah, they gave up a touchdown coming out of that, because like I said,
they started out strong.
I thought we were going to win when Joey Sly hit that 61-yarder. I was like, damn, we're gonna fuck around and win this damn game. Just that momentum at the end. But sure shit, we give
the Eagles own third quarters. They came out in the third quarter and did what they always do. But I tell you what, in the fourth quarter, for me, I always I'm the guy that sits there, and I'm sure you guys are too, with like 40 seconds to go on the clock, down 17, going, all right, we got a touchdown here, and then we get an extra, we get this. And you're trying to figure out how you can do it. And yesterday, with a minute, maybe 48 seconds left, about that, I was like, okay, it's 38-24. There's no way. I got up, I took a piss, I did a couple other things, and come back, and it's 38-31, and we're trying on onside kick. I was like, holy shit. So, the offense yesterday was very pleasing. The defense, to me, there were parts of it that I was very impressed with. Our fucking linebackers played okay yesterday, man. And for the most part, David Mayo made some tackles. I was kind of surprised about that. They kept for the most part, I don't want to say that they played the underneath really well. All right. Anytime that there was a pass that was within the intermediate range, man, somebody, whether it was one-on-one or whether we had some kind of doubling over there, somebody was draped on him, and somebody was always fucking with the ball. And they made some nice catches. They had a one-handed catch down over there, man. They had a couple of really nice throws by Hurts. But our DBs, I thought St. Just, in terms of sticking to his man, I thought he did pretty well yesterday. But A.J. Brown, honestly, he could be looking at MVP status. When you look at MVP and what it means, most valuable player to the team that he plays for, right? This team would not be what they are without him. That dude, what is it? 5 straight games with 125 plus yards?
Six.
Broke
Seven now.
Yeah. Seven. Is it 6?
No, it's 6. He broke the NFL record.
Listen, he's right behind Tyreek Hill for the best wide receiver in the league right now, to me. I think it's them two, and then it's a pretty good distance between third.
Right.
No, he's great.
The 2 touchdown catches that he had yesterday were absolutely unbelievable catches. I mean,
all right,
you can't ask any more from a wide receiver when it comes to that point. I mean, that ball just pretty much went in the air, and he went up and grabbed him. I mean,
and even those catches, even our defensive backs, they were right there. They just didn't make the play. I mean, I can't fault them too much.
Philly attacked our weaknesses. I mean,
especially when we put him right out on the field and stick him on the guy who's got an MVP track, who just whipped his ass 3 weeks ago. Here, go ahead. Look at this. We're going to put a couple of matches out in front of you. Why don't you try to light them on fire? I'll tell you what, man. That was the thing.
I don't know.
I don't think
you guys
anybody else, any other cornerback on our team, it would have been the same result.
Oh, well,
did you guys see at the end of the game, though?
Make sure he stays away from him.
And this is what I really liked. I don't know if you paid attention to the end of the game when you shut the TV off, but they showed Sam Howell walking with Forbes, and Sam Howell had his arm over him.
Yeah, I saw that.
I know that a lot of people will just be like, teammates.
No, that was seriously good.
I really appreciated to see that, only because I felt like there was some leadership coming out of Sam Howell, because he's had his rough games too. And so, to be there for the rookie, to just, not make him feel so isolated. It was just, I know this is so corny to say. It was nice to see, only because I saw leadership coming from a guy who I believe can stay QB1 for this team.
Yeah, Sam has all the intangibles of being a franchise quarterback. If he can get the mentality of it, I mean, he has the mentality. If he can get, he just needs. He's got the mentality. He's got the physical tools, if he can work out his kinks, especially holding the ball too long and be able to process, I think he could be a really good franchise quarterback.
Well, the fact of the matter is
the professionalism, like
yes,
that doesn't get talked about enough.
He takes the heat. He takes the blame for pretty much everything.
He doesn't stick the finger anywhere, and that's probably one of his girlfriend's complaints. But the fact of the matter is, he was holding on to Malcolm Forbes because they opened the door at the other end of the stadium and the wind was blowing, and he wanted to make sure that he didn't fall into the wrong locker room. That is leadership. I was kind of surprised. I asked you guys this on the post game yesterday. How is it Chris Myers from Fox Sports, who comes in and sees the coaches and players for 20 minutes? How is it he knows Sam Howell has a players-only meeting last week and gives him a pep talk, and we don't hear anything about it? Where's Nikki Jablava or John Conn? Easy.
Holy Water says in the chat, no moral victories.
No,
you're right.
You're right.
No,
they don't count that.
We
can still praise the player and still hate the football team.
Fans right now, we're looking towards the future and what we got in the future. We got to figure out.
We've been doing that for 20 years. All right, so the elephant in the room, Ron. Did Ron do his job? Did Ron fuck up this fucking game with his inability to keep a clear mind in the critical juncture of a fourth down that rules against us, that was clearly an incomplete pass? Whether he should have thrown the challenge, he should have called timeout. They're fucking clearly running down. His whole sideline is yelling at him that fucking Smith dropped the ball, and he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know. And he says in his fucking post-game presser, I didn't see it on the Jumbotron. They wasn't talking to me on the ear. Number one, it's our own home stadium. Yo, fucking Sparky back there working the Jumbotron. Why don't you have that shit up there real quick?
He's got a guy in like every other NFL team.
He's got 3 timeouts. So when it's going like that, and it's a fucking, you can't find a more critical juncture in that football game. Call timeout. Stop that chaos. Stop it before they I was listening to Deuce this morning talk about this, and he's 100% right. They didn't even call a play. Hurts hobbled up there, and they just snapped in the ball. He ran around and fucking went out of bounds. So, right. Call timeout. Stop the chaos, Ron. Stop the fucking clock so that your goddamn guy up in the booth can turn SpongeBob off and back onto the game, and he can see the goddamn replay and tell you to throw the challenge flag.
I don't hate it as much as y'all do.
That is a colossal. See, here's the thing. We all say, what does Ron do? What does Ron do? Well, that's what Ron is supposed to do. He had one opportunity in that game to make a difference, and he fucked it up. He fucking sat there and looked at it stupidly while it all happened in front of him, instead of just going, hey, stop for a second. Stop for a second. That's what I say.
I agree.
I mean, it's a shitty situation. I don't hate it like like everybody else does. The situation is what it was. I mean, his issues with throwing challenges are far and wide. Okay, about throwing challenges that had no business being thrown. It was you got a guy in the booth that did not get the feed. You got it was like 3 or 5 seconds from the time that ball was done until
they got
up. So
they ran up. And that's what I'm saying. It's chaos. They are, because our guys, you see them on our sideline. They're all telling them it's no good. Philly's running up. Just all you got to do is this, and it all stops, and you get 30 seconds to look at it, or at least slow down. Before and 2 plays later, they're in the end zone. I thought that was a colossal fuck up. I also thought that,
You sure changed your tune from yesterday, though.
No, I thought that was a colossal fuck up.
No, please go back and rewind the tape.
Oh, I don't know.
You definitely were singing a different tune yesterday.
About Ron?
Yeah, about that play.
That play? Well, you get a chance to think about things, man. You get a chance to hear some input about it. You get a chance to look at things.
Yeah, Jesse. So he can't change his mind.
Right. Now, the one person
giving you game reaction yesterday.
I know that we're going to go ahead and get to some we're going to get to some true and false, and we're going to get to some butt smacks and head smacks. But first, we want to get the lowdown on our good friend Kirk Cousins from our good buddy. Our good buddy, I don't even remember Fat Boy's name, but man, that was awful. Look, there's Kirk down. Kirk is down. Oh, he's getting helped around. Oh, And then there he is. Oh, look at that. So, Grant Paulson, sir, what do you think about Kirk Cousins finally having a big fucking massive injury?
Oh, it's totally devastating. I can't believe this. I absolutely cried for hours after it happened. Unbelievable. I mean, this guy was on the verge to taking his team to the Super Bowl. And, you know.
Don't you wish it could have been us?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, if I was there at the game, I would have ran there and licked that injury, licked that wound. He would have been right back out there.
There he is. I mean, what do you see when you're looking at that? Do you see when you first look at this picture, Grant? Do you see the Achilles springing up into his calf, or do you see his tight little buns there?
Actually, what I see is a typical Saturday night when I go and visit him.
What do you see here? Are you feeling a little jealous when you look at this picture that he's got that arm around that other guy there?
Well, he's still thinking of me, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, what about this? Does this hurt you? Does this bother you, Kirk on the cart?
It does, because there's somebody there that's rubbing his feet, and that's usually me on Saturdays getting him ready for game day.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be able to handle this now, aren't you? You're not going to, have to take an extended leave or anything, we hope.
I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just know that I love Kirk Cousins. He's going to be back next year, and he's going to take the Vikings to the Super Bowl. Bet on it.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Paulson. All right, let's see here. Okay, we got all kinds of comments. Are you watching that shit over there? Let's see. I think this is appropriate. I don't know when that came up, but okay, we'll say that. Who gives a shit? All right, we're gonna play.
Some Commanders fan saw. I don't know if Saul or heard it, but they said they wanted to give 2 first-round picks for Kirk Cousins right now after the injury.
Yeah,
for the future.
No, if they want to talk to us,
I heard it on the radio. Somebody on the radio said.
Oh, somebody on the radio said
that.
Yeah. Is that where that came from?
What are the Vikings
know anybody on the radio?
Though?
Hey, we could give 2 first-round picks up for old Kirk there. All right.
What are the Vikings going to do now at this point? I mean, my man, the only
come trade for Jacoby Brissett, please. Trade for shit. We'll give you Jacoby and Terry for 2 first-round picks.
Ooh. Yeah. All right. Well, we can talk about some trades in a bit.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. Go away with that. All right. Yeah, that would be their problem. All right. So let's play some true false. I got a couple of questions here. All right, Jessy, who's the offensive?
What? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on a second. I don't know why. It's only on freaking 6.
You're good now.
Yeah, right. That was weird. At first, couldn't hear you.
All right. This offense has turned a corner. True or false?
I'm gonna say false. I needed more than just one game or one half. I need to see some consistency, and this falls squarely on Eric Bieniemy, nobody else.
All right, just building on that, consistency would mean what in New England next week? Or are they home? Or are we playing at home?
It's an away game.
Oh, is it away? Okay.
Yeah, we're not home.
Okay, so what was your question?
For you to see consistency, what do you need to see against New England?
Yeah, I mean, I need to see good smart game planning. Coming in, starting right off the bat, like we did yesterday. Starting fast. Yeah, I know we only got 23 yards on that first drive, but we came back and really went down the field, and you saw a different style of play calling in that first half and on through the whole entire game. So let's see that. Let's see Eric Bieniemy come in with a good good play call and plan to start and not have to make a shit ton of adjustments all the way at halftime.
All right, that's good. All right, Keith, true or false? This defense is not a concern. That was a Super Bowl team, and they have held the points down in the past.
Whose defense? New England's?
No, our defense.
Our defense isn't a concern?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a false.
Well, today it is the concern. I mean, next week or the week before, it's
See, that's the question. All right, that was the thing. True or false? This defense is not a concern. This was a Super Bowl team, and they have held points down.
No, false. There were still mistakes being made. They let a number 1 receiver walk all over them. They blew assignments. Guys that you expect to be better weren't. So false.
I have to agree. I think that's false. And I don't care whether they held the points down against the Giants or not. The Giants held them on the field the entire first half. And we've seen them go out and lay eggs against teams that they, I hate the word, but should beat. And I largely put that on the defense because, they should be better than that. There's that word again. All right, true or false? Jesse, we have a problem on special teams.
I'm going to say false because I think the offensive special teams, or I guess the receiving end of special teams, kind of mask everything that's happened with, the coverage unit. And we talked about, because we answered your question, John, on the bunker. I think Christian Holmes is a missing piece. Yeah. I know that doesn't account for the middle of the field, like you were saying.
It opened right up.
He's a big time gunner, and he makes big time plays on the special teams. I think we've missed him a little bit.
We're missing Reeves too.
Yeah,
and we have been giving up. That's the thing. People think that returns, they're red zone now. So they think that unless they see the guy go 80 yards, it's not a return. Like a 12-yard return, 15-yard return, those are fucking bad plays, man. And we seem to be giving them up on a weekly basis. And
but we're also giving them. So
that's the thing.
I think it evens out a little bit. Yeah.
Right. All right. So that brings me to the next one. Keith, true or false? Jamison Crowder is one of Ron Rivera's best signings.
I'm gonna have to go through.
You have 4 years to think about.
Yeah, I'm gonna say true. Jamison Crowder has done nothing but step up since he's been called up, and I have to tell you, I'm appreciative of it.
I tell you what, he's stepping up on the offense too, man. Scored a touchdown yesterday. He sparked that final drive, which I did, rewind and watched after I missed it. All right, so let's see. True or false, Jesse? Ron and or JDR will be fired before the season is over.
False. Yeah, I think they're getting a year.
Okay.
I think they're getting a year.
Both of them?
Yeah.
All right, Keith, what do you think?
Yeah, I believe they're going to finish out the year. I don't see what option you have that would make anything any better. I think you keep it as is and roll them out by the end of the season.
To me, it makes zero sense to put EB in as an interim head coach. If anything, if you
answer right now.
Not right now. I mean, if say you fire Rivera, the only person on the staff that has the experience is JDR.
Yeah,
well, JDR is one of the problems. So it's it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you might as well just take it and just run with it and wait it out to the end of the season. And I think that Harrison Company has the patience to do so.
I agree, and I think that JDR he's been like Ron. He's been an okay head coach in the past, but it's way in the past. So if we did get rid of Ron, he would have to be the guy that's elevated because you just have to let him do that because I don't think people that are out there in the social media world realize the differences between head coach and coordinator and what you have to do. Look, you guys absorb football, right? All you fans out there, we absorb football. We watch everything we can hear about it. We listen to everything we can listen to about it. And all you hear is that these head coaches, they don't ever go to bed. They fucking never go home from goddamn August, July, all the way through, until their season's over. They never go home. They sleep on their couches. Offensive coordinators, these dudes freaking, they work 18, 19-hour days. That's 2 full-time, overtime jobs. Giving it to one guy is hard enough. A head coach is a delegator. There's only a few that actually do the like Andy Reid, he calls plays. A few of them do, but for the most part, they're delegators. Unless you're going to get somebody that's, dude, you look at how many coaches in this league now are under the age of 35, under the age of 40. Some fucking fresh brains in here. But JDR would be at least able to shield Eric Bieniemy and let him cook with Sam Howell for the rest of the season. And that's the only way that I would think that would be able to go. All right, let's see here. We got a couple more here, which are true or false. Where were we? Were we on Keith? Am I on you?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing Hollywood Squares. Let me see if I can do it this way. Keith, with the weird happenings in the NFC, a quality season and a playoff run are still on the table. True or false, sir?
False.
False?
We're not even close to a play. We're not close to a playoff.
We can go on a nine win run. 9 in a row.
No.
No 12-5 for you.
I mean, technically speaking, yeah, but
right, monkeys could fly out of my ass.
Anything is possible, but I wouldn't count on this team.
No. So looking at the rest of the NFC, though, what's a playoff team?
Yeah, and that's the thing right there.
And especially with Cousins getting hurt.
Yeah, that's a big one. And who's that 7th seed is wide. Open.
I mean, you're looking.
There's going to be a losing record in that 7. Someone with a losing record in with that 7 seed.
And why can't it be us? Says Ron. Right?
So I'm not going to. I'm going to say it's not out of the realm. You know.
Listen, we're 0-3 in the division. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at wild card for sure. There's no possible way we win the division.
Oh yeah, that I mean, I didn't think there was a possible way we'd win the division, even when we were 2-0. There was no possible way. It was always wild card. But I mean, some NFC East or NFC team is going to sneak in with a 7-10 record. Mark my words.
It might be us. All right, so all right, for the last true or false. I'm going to throw this up to everybody. Everybody, true or false, we will do a big trade by the deadline. Jesse, we'll start with you. False? False, true or false?
False.
I'm going to say true. I'm going to say they are going to move Montez Sweat. The deal that I read this morning was that the Falcons, I think, had offered a 3rd and a 2nd if he could get a long-term deal.
The extension.
Yeah.
Right. If they could sign a long-term deal with him, they'd move it up to a 2nd. And I think you have to take that if you can.
That's a smart move. But I just don't see. I just don't see it happening.
Now I was listening to the Athletic Football Show, which is I like that, and they have this GM on there whose name I can't remember right off the top of my head, but he was saying that he thinks from a team like Jacksonville, they could get maybe a 1st from Chase. I mean, he's talking hypothetical, and he's talking last week. But what his reasoning is a team like Jacksonville needs an edge rusher. Here, wait a minute, we are done with true false. So off goes our music. They need an edge rusher. They're looking to be picking in the 20s, right? Probably they're trying to make a playoff run. They think they're good enough to make that next step. So for them, trading a 1st-round pick that would be maybe 23, 24 for a guy that's 24 years old with Chase Young's potential, that might be something they would think about. What do you think? Jesse, what do you think?
I don't see any scenario where any team offers a 1st-round pick for Chase.
So you're saying that this former NFL GM is full of shit?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why he's a former
it's not realistic. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. Especially you're gonna have to give up a 1st, and you're gonna have to pay him a contract coming after this year. What if y'all can't get a contract done? I mean, you're just wasting the 1st.
You'd have to. It would be if they could give you a 3rd for next year as opposed to. I mean, because if you sign, if you just go ahead and let them leave in free agency and figure, okay, we're going to get a 3rd in 2025, but then we make a
4th.
We make a big signing that could evaporate too.
Yep.
So, so I'm thinking if they give us a 3rd for next year with that other, fine, take it. And if they can get an assurance from Montez that he'd go ahead and sign a contract with him, sure, why not? We'll see what happens. It's coming up tomorrow.
Speaking of trades, I want to throw this out here with you guys. I put a tweet out yesterday. We had this discussion on Bunker. Bros got really, really mad at me.
He got mad.
I said nobody under the age or over the age of 24 should be safe on this team. Everybody's on the table. For the right price, you're goddamn right. I'm trading Terry McLaurin. I will trade him for a 1st-round pick without even a thought, without even a question. One, he's got a big contract. 2, he's old. I'm not old, but he's 28.
We heard something there, didn't we, Keith? I think we heard the truth there. He's got a big crotch, he said. He said that you did.
This team, everybody should be on the trade block. Pretty much everybody. I'd probably keep Jahan and except for Jahan and Sam Howell, obviously. I mean, but anybody over the age 23, 24, put them on the contract. Let's put them out there on the block. Let's get as much assets.
A 1st-round pick for Terry McLaurin would have to be attractive, man. It would have to be attractive. It would hurt.
It would hurt. Yes. It's not. I'm thinking with my head. I'm not thinking with my heart.
Right. Dotson's right there. to take over as a number one.
Yeah.
I know he's had a couple of bad games, but what you saw yesterday
Yeah.
was much more likely of what you're going to get out of Jahan Dotson most of the time. You know, and I know yesterday when Terry dropped the first pass, you were fucking screaming and throwing shit around your house. And when he dropped the second pass, that's when the first tweet came, or the first message came across the thing. Trade this motherfucker now.
Look, if we're really thinking about this with our heads and not our hearts here,
you're right.
Yeah, it would hurt. It would
You're
hurt,
right.
but it would make so much sense. I mean, he's got a big contract. Okay, it's $20 million a year ain't nothing, but and you're actually going to send Terry. You could possibly send Terry to a winning team before he gets old and his wide receiver legs go out on him, because it's going to be soon. Their legs go out. You know,
I know.
At age 30.
I never fall for the, I hope he can go to another team and win a Super Bowl. You know why? Because I don't want any other team to ever fucking win a Super Bowl. Fuck them all. And
we're wasting it. We're wasting this talent. By the time this team is good, he's going to be gone.
Well, that's not my
Let's be real here.
Jesse, that's actually right there. Actually, right there is why I don't think you're crazy for saying that, because I agree. 100%. I said that one of the biggest problems that this team has had over the years, and especially during Ron's tenure, is we haven't been able to get these guys collectively to play well together. I guess what I'm trying to get at here is they're coming in at different times, right? And so contracts are being due at different times, and it's not helping the situation. And when the team's not playing well, like you said, we could be potentially 3 years away. Well, where's Terry McLaurin going to be at in 3 years? Wasted away in those 3 years, putting up decent numbers here, but not really the player that can help take us over the threshold. Right. Not due to his fault. It's the fault of who we're bringing in, either through free agency or the draft. But we can't get it collectively together at the same time. So if you have to give up these guys now if you have to give up these guys now to get those assets to where you can bring in a good foundation, you might have something in 2 to 3 years where they can collectively meet at the same time, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense. And the fact of the matter is, well, first off, welcome Scotty from his deathbed. Who is suffering from the Irish flu. How are you, sir?
Yeah, it was coming out of both ends. So I thought it wasn't
we don't need it. Sorry, there you go.
Actually, that's not true. I got a text. Let me read it real quick.
That is
not coming out of both ends? The show. Guys, I can't be on the show tonight. I stuck a carrot up my ass.
Well,
that's
then,
totally true. It's frozen.
That's how you get your roughage. The fact of the matter is that
you took it one step further.
Andy thinks with a bleeding heart, and we love him for that. But the fact of the matter is you're right. If a first round pick is put up for Terry McLaurin, you've got a potential number one wide receiver who's a clone right there with Jahan Dotson, right? So you can work a second receiver into that. Byron Pringle's there. You've got a couple others. Curtis Samuel, you could maybe work a small deal out and re-sign him. It would hurt. As a fan, it would absolutely fucking tear your heart out. But I'm going to equate this to my fandom as a baseball fan to the Orioles. We traded away Manny Machado, who was a fucking Gold Glove, and we traded away Jonathan Scope, who was a fucking Gold Glove, and rips your heart out. But they, over a couple of years, man, they developed the talent that comes with that trade. Yeah. Right. So if you can turn, and football, it works faster. So not only him, but Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. I noticed yesterday, Jonathan Allen, I said this in our chat.
Nobody's off the table.
Jonathan Allen was invisible yesterday, and you guys were all like, he sucks. And I'm like, no. I mean, I really don't see him. Like, are they holding him off on the sidelines? Are they keeping him over to the side because
there's going to be new coaches next year, Holy Water. That's what we're trying to develop assets. So a new regime comes in here, and we're starting from the beginning, man.
Right now, I wouldn't want Ron to fucking and thankfully, every reporter that I've been listening to says that there's no indication of any kind of fire sale. But if you can maneuver a little bit. Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. And I mean
look what Philly's done. I mean, they even they traded away Carson Wentz, got the first round pick, and they turned that in. It's something that you have to do. You know, it's something that you have to do something. You have to get rid of big players sometimes. Yes, he's great. I'd love him to marry my daughter, but Jesus, you know, he's not doing nothing for this team right now.
Well,
Julio Jones even caught a touchdown yesterday. Like,
yeah, I know. I thought that was ridiculous.
The Eagles do this every year, man, where they'll grab someone that's just chilling at home, you know, and find a way. I wouldn't necessarily say resurrect their career, but just find a way to get them involved in the action just enough. And that's what they did with Julio.
They should have fucking called 12 men on the field yesterday because he had that nurse that was pushing his wheelchair out when they went out in the pattern.
Oh, Peter said, yeah, call the Chiefs. They're hurting for wide receivers right now. You know, I'm
Chiefs is a late round. That's a late first.
But still, I mean, it's just, you're going to send Terry to a contender. Most like a contender's going to want Terry, and would be willing to give up.
That's a long shot trade. I think that Montez Sweat trade is a much more reasonable expectation.
Well, I'm just saying is
you're right. Is I don't want them having a fire sale though, man.
Not necessarily a fire sale, but you know, your bigger contracts.
You got to answer the phone.
Your older players. If there's a chance to get rid of them and recoup to be able to help this rebuild, you fucking do it.
You got to take thing, I suppose, in some ways there, Jesse. The other thing is you're saving salary cap as well because that is quite a big contract.
It helps in many areas.
Well, I think that's the point. I think that's the whole entire point. Trying to grab assets for the future, but also salary cap money as well.
Yeah. To the other side of the coin, he is the franchise face. He is the guy in this. If you want to rebuild and you want a new ownership,
if Sam Howell's the quarterback. I'm sorry.
I know.
Sam Howell's the face.
Look at this beard. He's got the Sam Howell beard.
That's true. That's
true. He does. He's already turned himself into a Sam Howell beard. Doesn't he? He's like, yeah. He doesn't even know he did it, but he did.
I just need the hair. I need that like crazy hair to go everywhere.
Yeah, you stopped eating beef, right?
Yeah.
You ate salami though. I heard.
I'm all.
Wow. Wow.
Anyway.
I can't stand you.
Anyway, so Scott, what the fuck's the matter with you, man?
Just not good. I just felt real rough all day, and then I got home and was like, crashed for a couple of hours. Got up and was like, it's out of
Andy Burrows, blame Ron Rivera for that one, man.
I agree.
Ron Rivera drafts guys that don't play. You got to. This team is not set up for success. You have to blow it up.
Right.
And the rebuild that Rivera was working on was terrible. It failed. No, you
don't blow it up. Trading Terry for a first round pick, especially if it's up in the upper 20s into the teens, that's not blowing it up. That's moving assets around to be able to create more. You can get more, and it's not even about cap space because I don't give a shit about cap space. For one, we've got a ton of it, and for two, cap space disappears with a stroke of a fucking pen. It is a goddamn imaginary number. And the thing about it is, it's not like if we trade Terry, we have no wide receivers. We do. All right? We have young wide receivers, and we can even continue to build on it.
Some people, and like our buddy Andy, thinks Terry's a first or second year player. He's not, and he came in the league late. He's 28 years old. He'll be 29 next year. There's no reason to keep him.
Well,
if you can get rid of him, how long does
it's got to be
a wide receiver go? How long does a wide receiver of his ilk? Because let's be honest, he's not got less than 1,000 yards in any season.
At the age of 30, more times than not, that's when or like the age 29, they start going downhill.
Is it really?
They start losing their legs.
29 years, 3 months, and 1 day. In fact, is what I think I saw on DVOAs when they start to actually go downhill. Anyway, Scott, I asked you for a minute ago what was wrong with you. You started telling us all about your sick and shit.
You got bloody diarrhea.
No, I don't even give a shit about anything like that. I was just wondering why your hair is all fucked up.
Because it's fucked up. I had a fight with a lawnmower and lost. I won't go to the Turkish barbers to get it done, and obviously this 10 head is it's doing well. I haven't got a 4 head, I've got a 10 head. This is receding more than our offensive line, but it is what it is.
Hey, our offensive line did pretty well yesterday. As a matter of fact,
it did okay.
Why don't we go ahead and get in some butt pats and smacks? I got my fucking Butt pat. Attaboy. Head smash.
Faced Chris Paul, but he actually didn't have a very good game.
All right, we will start off. Let's see. We will start off. I'm going to go ahead and shake the dice here. We'll start off with Scotty. Go ahead and give us your first head smash or your first butt pat on offense.
Butt pat on offense. Well, it was okay actually. I'm going to go Tyler Larson at center.
Attaboy.
I thought he was fantastic when he played. He came out. You could see him going straight into the block immediately. He's pushing folks back. He's bigger than Gates as well, as in size and height wise.
He was looking at.
Yeah,
he knew
very good. Not a single snap when was errant either. So well done.
No. Yeah, and he didn't miss any calls, I don't think. I thought that the whole game was blocked well. Sam got sacked one time, right?
Just that extra couple of seconds, that half a second, that second, just to have Sam be able to plant his feet more. It made a huge difference. Made a huge difference on the O-line.
Massive difference. Kind of like a bromo would make for you, right? Like fucking Pepto-Bismol would help him out. All right.
Exactly.
Keith, who's your first offensive butt pat of the day?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and give it to Jahan Dotson. We've been pretty rough on him.
Yeah,
and my man made some great catches yesterday. I appreciate it as a fan.
Oh, yeah. Jahan Dotson. All right, go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, to me, this isn't, this reason for this offensive performance isn't the O-line. It isn't Jahan Dotson. It's all on Eric Bieniemy for calling
great
good plays, having a good plan. I mean, calling plays to get your playmakers involved, calling plays to get the ball out of Sam Howell's hands, calling plays to be able to and move in the pocket, calling screens, calling play action to help it all. Because Larson played better than Gates, but going back and looking at it, Chris Paul did not have a good game. Yeah,
he had a couple of big errors. He was okay. But he had some errors.
He rated out of the three ratings, ESPN, PFF, and the SIS one. He was like one of the worst offensive linemen in the entire league yesterday. Yeah. But he did have some really good moments too. Basically, I think he had a couple of pancakes. He knocked some guy like 5 yards down the field. It was great to see. But EB. 100%. This offensive performance was on EB.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take the other obvious one. I'm going to say Sam Howell because it's the first time this year that I've gotten to pick Sam Howell because he usually goes first. But I thought he played fantastic, and I think you can see what he can do when you give him time. He early in the game, you're right. EB called excellent plays, spread that defense out. We dictated to the defense what we were going to do instead of letting them just line up and say, fuck off. We're going to do what we're going to do. And you're going to accept it. Because if they'd have done that, we'd have crushed them. We'd have been all over the place because that ball was going all over the place. One of the things about Chris Paul that I didn't like, one of the bad plays, was in one of those first two drives, we gave that really fancy, nice, nifty, that's a lot of adjectives, jet sweep to Diami Brown, which I thought looked really good. It was shaping up really nice. And then Chris Paul misses the block on the fucking linebacker because he's just loafing his big fat ass out there. That was something I didn't like. But Sam Howell, dude, he was throwing some lasers. He had a couple of passes that Terry had a couple of drops at the end of the game, but dude, man, they hit you in the hands, they hit you in the arm. I know they're low, but a low pass, if it hits you in the hands, you got to catch it, right? The laser that he threw to Logan Thomas on he picked up a blitz, and I think Scotty, you said in our chat, where's this Logan Thomas been? And I'm like, dude, that wasn't Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas ran the hot route, and Sam just hit him right on stride. The touchdown pass to Logan Thomas. Man,
that was another butt
nice catch too.
Yeah, Logan had a great catch. He had a great game yesterday.
That was another butt pass.
Sam started like 15 of 16 passes.
Sam Howell.
He was on fire yesterday. Yeah,
and the final minute drill that he got Crowder in the end zone there to make it. I mean, dude, he's got the presence, he's got the poise, and I know I'm gonna pat myself on the back here, but the first time we watched him play against Dallas last year, I came on this show and I said poise. Poise is the word, and every time we watch him play and have a good game, the announcers and Schlereth yesterday, the poise is I just see it all over him. All right, we're going to go back around.
Hold on. Before you do that, I actually have a question because in past episodes, we've been fairly critical on EB for the amount of passes that Sam Howell has had each game.
Still 50. Yeah.
Still 50. Like,
still 50.
But the performance was better, so why are we giving it a pass?
If it
was effective?
If it wasn't as effective as it was, especially because there was a lot of short passing, and that's an extension of your run game.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't as effective because we ran the ball 15 times and we got close to 6 yards per carry.
Right.
If we didn't score 31 points, say we only scored 17 points, then I think we should be questioning, the play calls again. But the short passing game, again, as I said, is an extension of the run game. So I think we can cushion that just a little bit, but it is still concerning, though. It's still concerning.
All right, go ahead,
Yeah,
Scott.
I agree with
another butt pat there.
No, it was Crowder. You just said them both. It was Crowder and Thomas were the two I would go to. Yeah, they would be the two I would go for. That was still on offense. I thought they were very good. Do you give one to Terry? Probably as well. Monster catch for an in the end zone. Did well. Had a good game. I can't disagree with him at all. EB, we're back to EB and Keith's question. Yeah, we've railed him a bit over the last couple of episodes and said he's not the answer. Jury is still out for me. One game does not. Well, one swallow doesn't make a summer and all that.
You're absolutely right.
At the same time, girlfriend.
Yeah, but at the same time, we lost. Attaboy. I don't want to be competitive. We lost the game. We lost the game. And we haven't, what is it now, 5 without a win? No, I can't. I'm going back.
We're 3-5.
Yeah, not good. Your quarterback's getting nearly 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and you can't win a game. Come on now, what's gone wrong here? I know the Eagles are a very good side. I understand that completely, but I don't want to be nearly men. I mean, I said this. I think I sent this question into the bunker. What do we do to stop being nearly men? What do we do to stop being? The bridesmaid, never the bride.
When I was younger, if you got your finger wet. All right, so let's do some head smacks on offense. Go ahead, Keith.
Oh, shit.
Oh, sorry. You'll go next. Sorry, I'm going clock.
He's gonna take mine. I know it.
No, go on, Keith. You got it.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Terry McLaurin. Those passes were low, but they were catchable, and he didn't do it. And, this is a guy where you need him to make those catches, and he didn't. So, as much as we praise him,
I think that's a unanimous head smack. I think that's a unanimous head smack. And I think, rather than us always wondering whether one of us is going to take the other, we should make a new category called unanimous head smack.
Unanimous. Yeah. I don't know. I think this is his first head smack ever.
Yes, probably ever.
Yeah.
But he deserves a double one because 2 times in a row, both
critical.
It was critical, and he's caught much harder balls, much harder balls. He should have had them.
I can't think of another head smack. Go ahead, Jessy.
Mine goes to the refs. Well, I really think they really shafted us. I said, I don't like blaming refs for the lost game, but they had their hand in this loss. Especially, I mean, how do you call that Jahan Dotson ball incomplete? Yeah. How do you do that?
Well, how do you call it one way and then you just switch it? That's the thing. And I think it was Peace that said yesterday on our show that it's past 2 minutes.
If they didn't switch it, it would have gotten overturned. So that's where my frustration comes in, is the fact that you switch it. Now you've made it difficult for it to get overturned. And I knew once that happened, that was a wrap. They were going to call incomplete.
Well, they shouldn't have switched. They shouldn't have switched it, even if Slay got a fake injury, little fucker. But there's no way. It's not allowed. New York cannot tell them to switch it, except for in the 2 minutes. It's unfucking acceptable.
Why was it allowed? Like
I don't know.
Because the officials have the law on the field, and what are you going to do? You beat them up.
Yeah, they.
Is this the only game this season where officiating has done that? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, something like that. No, I've never heard of anything like that where they said that it was complete on the field. As far as I knew, that the call on the field is sacrosanct, and if the call on the field, which they initially said was a completed pass, then New York can't call down and go, by the way, it is an incomplete pass. unless it's within 2 minutes, and I don't think it was. And I think, and there's no challenge. Philly could challenge it, but they didn't. They didn't. It was the fact that they came back and said, "Oh, we called it incomplete." And it was like, "No, you didn't. We heard you 2 minutes ago call it complete." Yeah, that was a fucking right there. Go ahead.
Can I give a head smack here as well,
go ahead.
please? I'm going to give a head smack to the entire coaching staff as well. even though we just gave EB a butt pat. Why the fuck are you not calling the Devontae Smith catch when you can see they are running to the ball to play it? Surely that is an indication that this is not going to be a catch. And then Ron Rivera sitting in his press conference afterwards going, well, no one gave me a call. No one said it was like that. And we didn't see the replay. Was it a catch? Wasn't it a catch? Ron, this is the third time you've been caught out like this. Last year it was, we're eliminated from the playoffs. And now it's this. I mean, get a grip of yourself. You've got a guy who's supposed to be doing that upstairs in the booth to say, it was not a catch, challenge.
We talked about it a while ago.
Okay, I missed
that. No, it's okay. It's okay. But the fact of the matter is, even if you don't have a view of it yet, call timeout. Because they did. The TV replay did come in late with that view from behind.
Bless you.
Right? The view that showed from under, when you could see it from Dotson where he's laying and you could see the ball between his legs, that view came in late.
Not the Dotson one, the Devontae Smith one.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Just call timeout.
That was
there's chaos everywhere. Just call timeout. Slow it down.
It was 30 yards on it. And then they score a touchdown on the next play.
Yeah,
sorry, Jessy. Go ahead.
All right.
I got to bounce.
All right. You got to run?
Yep.
All right, brother.
See y'all Friday.
Nice to see you. Take care.
All right. Anybody got any more head smacks left for the offense? Got any butt pats for the defense, Keith?
Attaboy. Butt pats on the defense. I'll give it to the whole defense for a good first half.
Good first half.
Yeah, good first half. They actually stopped this team. They allowed our offense to actually go up 14-3. Was really impressed with this defense in the first half of this game. So I know it's kind of lame to give it to everyone and not a single person, but
that's all right.
Defense to me played well.
I'm going to give a butt pat that I never thought I'd ever give. David Mayo played okay. David Mayo played okay. And it wasn't that he was great, but I saw him on the ground making tackles more than I saw him chasing after somebody not able to make a tackle. I saw him tighter in coverage. I saw him make some effective blitzes in which he helped get Hurts off the spot. And yeah, man, it doesn't take much, I guess, if you suck as bad as that to look better. But I thought he played a pretty good game, so get out of here. He's used to that. But I'm going to give him attaboy. He's probably laying in the corner. Don't do it again. Oh, you like me today, Scotty? What about you? You got any butt pats for the defense?
No, I thought it was terrible.
Now on Cam Curl for ripping that ball out at the 5.
Yeah, maybe. I'll give you that. But okay, when the brotherly, whoever was it, Phil Mathis on the brotherly shove?
I don't know who it was. They dropped it, but Mathis came out with the ball. Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but there was some good elements there. I mean, St. Juice had some good times in coverage, but it gave up 38 points, John.
Yeah.
Was that the first time that play was stopped?
I think it is the first
time that play was
even stopped.
I think so. Yeah.
We took the ball from them. And then they did something clever in the fourth quarter when they should have just laid on the ball, but they did that fake push, and they gave the ball to Swift for a touchdown. That was clever. So they showed off a little bit there. All right, you got any head smacks on the defense, Keith?
Yeah, I mentioned his name earlier in the episode, but Danny Johnson.
Well, go ahead. Let's see here.
You, your girl, and your Johnson. You, your friends, and your Johnson.
He did fuck up, but I thought he played well all the way up until that fuck up. But that was a pretty bad fuck up.
You, your friends,
that was
and
a pivotal.
Johnson.
It was a touchdown.
That was a pivotal part of the game, in my opinion, and he gave it up.
It was a touchdown. All right, what about you, Scott? Head smacks on defense?
Yeah, Jonathan Allen went missing. See you later, mate. Was nowhere to be seen. Don't talk your shit in the week. Come out and say, I'm sick of losing, and then just not show up at all.
I didn't see
not
him.
show up at all.
I barely saw him register
not at all.
I saw Ridgeway. That's why I was wondering.
I saw Mathis. I saw Payne. Well, I was like, where is he? Is he injured? At one point, I actually tried to count the linemen and look across and go, is he there?
That's what's so infuriating about this line. Like, they don't show up together.
Right.
It's always so inconsistent. You get one guy one week, then one guy the next week. The others are, become mystery men. It's maddening.
So
these are first-round picks. You should be wreaking havoc. We should be applying pressure nonstop, and we just don't. So,
let me ask you this then:
trade them.
In all seriousness, the statistics would suggest that without Chase, they're better. When it's Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, and whoever, Smith Williams or whoever, Hill, that they've been better. Before Chase came back, they played better as a unit. Since Chase came back, Chase is doing great. The rest of them have fallen off the plate. So I'm wondering, and we saw yesterday there was a play in which Hurts got outside, and Stink put it up on the TV about here. You see Chase Young take this inside move here. Well, somebody's got to take the outside, and Jonathan Allen stays to the inside. I'm just wondering to myself, I wonder if Allen knew he was coming inside, or Chase just thought, hey, I see something, and he took it. He took on that stunt and left that whole wide open space over there. I don't know.
It could have been John finessing again with what we talked about before, where they've came out in the past and said people have got to stop finessing, they've got to do their jobs properly, they've got to stick to their assignments.
That phantom finger pointed at Chase.
This is the thing. This is the thing. It's wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't want to hear your shit in the week talking rubbish and then come out and play flat. Look at De'Ami Brown, a 5th choice wide receiver, maybe even 6th choice wide receiver, is talking shit on Twitter. I'm done with this. We're done with you, mate. See you later. You've had 3 years and you're terrible. Jameson Crowder is getting snaps above you. Pringle is getting snaps above you. And they're making catches.
Right.
So,
Pringle
sorry,
had a
De'Ami, not interested.
They missed it. But yeah, if you're De'Ami Brown's talking shit, dude, shut up.
You, your friends, and your Johnson.
Yeah, go play with you and your friends and your Johnson. All right, let's see. Do I have any head smacks for defense? Yeah, I'm going to give it one to JDR. I'm going to give another one to JDR. And I'm going to give another one to JDR. Because, okay,
I like victories, Holy War.
I like the creativity.
No moral victories.
No, there are no moral victories. I like the creativity early on. I like the blitzing that I saw early on. However, it seems like to me that I don't know what you teach them, but all of our blitzers run dead fucking straight into the first goddamn blocker that they can find. All right. Our blitzes really don't put much pressure on anybody. So I can see why he doesn't do it very often, because he doesn't know how to teach him how to do it. We don't get home. So I'm tired of him putting us in positions where we're going to get burned. And, I've heard people saying, well, Malcolm Forbes got to learn sometime baptism by fire. Well, that's okay. That's all well and good, but you're in this football game. It's not like it's 28-7. You're in this football game. Okay. Don't put him out there on the guy that just fucking roasted him. If not only if you're going to challenge him physically and say, get out there and see if you can do it, one thing. But you know what Malcolm Forbes' confidence has to look like right now? Holy shit. I guarantee you, if somebody came to his house tomorrow night dressed up as A.J. Brown, he's going to fall down and fucking piss himself. So,
who are you call? Malcolm Forbes?
Emmanuel Forbes.
Did I say Malcolm Forbes? Who the hell is Malcolm Forbes?
Exactly.
Where did I come up with that?
Yeah. Old timers. I've got one more butt pat, if that's okay.
Don't do it on my head. My head's having a hard time. Malcolm Forbes.
It's a specialist. We're going to have to give it to Joey Sly. Come on now.
62-yarder. 61-yard field goal.
Was it 61? Was it 61?
It was 61.
But it's a franchise record.
61, but it was a franchise record. Yep.
Come on, me and Jessy were about to have a fight. We were going to have a fight right before that because I said we should have kicked the field goal. No way, man. You're the only person on the planet that ever says you kick a field goal in that situation. Dude, it's 51-yard field goal. That's well within his range. And you don't give Philadelphia the ball back with 1:45 if you miss, right? I mean,
and they say he was hitting them. I mean, there was still some air left on that ball too. I mean, that could have easily been a 63-yarder.
The 61-yarder erased Jesse and my argument because otherwise we'd have had it today. But that erased our argument. But you know what? Philly erased our lead, and that's what I was saying. You can't let them have that fucking ball with that kind of time.
What do you think of Burgundy on Burgundy as the uniform?
Hey, man,
I thought that actually looked strange.
It looked okay for 31 points. I look at it that way. How much did we score? We scored 31? All right.
I wish they would have wore at least gold socks. And I think it would have broken it up a little bit, but they went straight burgundy, and it was strange.
I think that always looks like a fucking. You look like you're in a unitard or you're in a pair of pajamas or something when you're out.
Well, because the pads, the pads are so thin now. Like there's not much to them anymore.
You gotta have some.
So they look like leggings.
You gotta have some contrast. I mean, if I put burgundy letters on my burgundy shirt, you wouldn't be able to fucking read it. So yeah, you do. You guys look like a bunch of girls that are going over to yoga, class, running around out there. Getting beat by AJ Brown. All right. Well, we got anything left? You got anything left? No. All right. Well, then I'll tell you what. We will be back on Friday afternoon to talk about the New England Patriots. And I guess we will see you all then at 5:30. I'm glad everybody stopped on by. Thanks for everybody that were in the comments. If you're over there on YouTube watching us right now, put that thumbs up on the thing and go ahead and give us a like. And if you're whatever you're listening to us on, whatever podcast fucking platform you're on, go on whatever it is, put 5 stars, 10 stars, however many stars they'll allow you to give us. Give it to us and tell them that you want to have Jesse's baby. See you next time on the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast.